Wednesday, the 4th of April, 2023, and we're looking at the pink moon. So one night before it's full, we're using an 800 equivalent lens. It's actually a 400 Nikkor EDIF focus lens at the f8, 22 times teleconverter, bringing it up to f16 down, 40 to a second shutter speed, which is a bit on the low side, but when you're shooting video, and you have a tripod, it doesn't make a big difference. ISO is the base ISO. But as we can see, wind also is an issue blowing the camera. Tighten it. So yeah, we'll stick with what we got here. So as I said, 40 to a second f8, ISO 64, and what we're looking at on my screen is darker than what I'm actually seeing. So yeah, I think I'll raise the ISO by a stop or so. Let's go up a bit. So there's 100, 2/3 of a stop higher. The moon is still darker than what I'm seeing. The sky is still darker than what I'm seeing, but it's, you know, kind of a nice image. I'm just gonna left frame, let it rise up through the frame, and yes, we have vibration due to wind. It's definitely a little breezy. Again, what I'm seeing on the screen, sky is dark blue as opposed to pale blue. The moon, you know, showing good detail and everything, but definitely somewhat darker than what I'm seeing. I could raise the ISO, I'd say even up to 200. I think I'm close to trying to calibrate so that it matches as closely as possible. It seems some of the videos are a little darker than what I'm seeing on the screen, so I have to lower the brightness in order to video some more closely. So that's part of the purpose of this. So I should get along with that and the screen here. I have on the screen something that matches what I'm seeing as much as possible. Anyway, we're quite happy with this. You know, the 800 millimeter focal length is good for video. You know, it's not too tightly cropped in. It allows to have a large moon, but still space around it. 800 millimeter would be a good focal length for a total solar eclipse where you have the corona visible around the moon. That would be almost ideal focal focal length. Although you could go a little tighter. 1,000 might be a bit too tight, I think. 600 allowed to see the outer edges. You can't extend the distance. 600 might be the best overall focal length for photographing total solar eclipse camera. But 800 is pretty good. And we will be having a total solar eclipse in Montreal just over a year from now on April 8th of 2024. So a year and 4 days away is a total solar eclipse. So we're going to reframe it. I'm going to raise the ISO to 200. That's 200. So now the moon is looking a little washed out on my screen, but actually I'm seeing all the detail, and it's still actually darker than what I'm seeing with the eye. And the sky is definitely darker than what I'm seeing with the eye. I'm seeing a pretty pale blue sky around the moon right now. Oh, is that a crow? Is it going to go across? That's too low, unfortunately. So I just thought I had a crow flying through the... happened. Seeing a vapor trail behind me. But anyway, getting back to that eclipse. So yeah, just over a year from today, on April 8th of 2024, the moon will totally eclipse the sun over North America, starting out in northwestern Mexico, and the path of totality comes up through Texas, the Midwest states, and then sort of the lower, below the Great Lakes, and through Quebec. Half of Montreal Island will be in the path of totality, the eastern half. The western half will be out of the path of totality. It'll be a very, very strong partial eclipse, but it won't be total. So if you want to see a total solar eclipse in Montreal, you pretty well have to be on the eastern half of the island. And if you want more minutes of totality, or at least more seconds of totality, you want to go even further east towards the center line, so you might want to head towards Sherbrooke or Drummondville or something like that. And again, the weather can be an issue because we are talking April. Today, April 4th, clear blue sky all around, a few clouds here and there. Right now, the conditions would be perfect for seeing a total solar eclipse. They were pretty good earlier. The eclipse is total on the 8th of April next year at around a little bit before 3:30 in the afternoon, around 3:27-ish in the afternoon. That's when there will be the total phase of the eclipse. But if it's totally overcast, we won't see it at all. It'll get very dark, but we won't see totality. And I'm hoping, though, that you don't even need totally clear skies. What you need is skies that aren't that cloudy. If there's a bit of thin cloud, it actually makes things a bit more interesting. Or if there's broken cloud, like you can have some fairly thick, cumulus cloud, as long as they're not obscuring the sun during totality, and you got some blue sky, elsewhere, like you have a clear blue sky with some clouds in it, well, that could be interesting too. So as long as it's not totally overcast, we'll see a total solar eclipse in Montreal. I mean, we'll still get very, very dark, even if it's totally overcast in the afternoon. It sort of happened to me in 1999 when I went to see the eclipse in really see totality. Very dark. So yeah, let's the frame here. So again, what I'm seeing on the darker than what I'm seeing, but I like what I'm seeing on the screen. It's sort of a nice deep blue sky. As I said, because the actual video recording seems to be a little darker than what I'm seeing on the screen with, I believe, this camera as well. I think I'm going to adjust the exposure a little lighter. So I'm going to go to 250 ISO, which will probably wash out the moon a bit on the screen. The sky will still be deep. Let's see here. Let's go to 250. Let's go all the way to 320. Okay, 320. 320, the moon's definitely kind of washed out looking. But I can see the area. I can still see a fair bit of detail on the moon, but it's definitely looking a little washed out. Looking a little brown too, because I have the color temperature set for, oh, I thought it was set for cloudy, but it's actually set for daylight. That's interesting. So yeah, this is looking a little washed out. ISO 320. I'm gonna go back down to 250. Okay, well, a big difference actually. Like, that's 1/3 of a stop difference in exposure. On film, wouldn't make that big a difference, but here, going from 320 down to 250 made quite a significant difference. It looks more like a half stop, or even more difference. So, such are the foibles of digital photography. But what I'm looking at here is on the screen, I see the moon well exposed, got detail everywhere, there's nothing washed out, and the sky is a deep blue. But I would expect on the video it could be a bit darker. So on the video, the moon probably looks just fine. The sky might be darker than this deep blue I'm seeing. So again, I think I might go back to 320 ISO to see what that gives me. So brighten up a little bit. The moon is slightly washed out. Let's go to 400. Let's see what we get. We got 400. Sort of medium blue sky. Still darker than what I'm seeing. This is to be expected because there's a huge difference in brightness between the moon and the sky. So on the screen, the moon is looking a bit washed out. I can still see the Maria. But it's definitely somewhat on the washed outside at 400 ISO, 40/8 actually f16 because we have a double it there. But I suspect that this exposure here at 400, and we're going to recenter things somewhat. Let's come back here. I'm suspecting that this slightly washed out looking exposure at 400 ISO might actually be almost perfect in terms of the moon, in terms of the actual video. We shall see when we finally upload the actual video and compare what we see in the actual video with my verbal description here. So again, ISO 400 f8. Oh, that was nice. See all this. 40/2 f8, 400 ISO. On the screen, the moon looks very close to what I'm seeing in terms of brightness and everything. Maybe a little bit. But you do want it to be a little darker to see the detail and everything. You don't want it to be washed out per se. And then the sky, as I said, I'm seeing a pale palish blue sky. It's not as bright as I'm seeing on the screen. I'm seeing a very nice deep blue sky on the screen, I have to say. So I'm very happy with that actually. I mean, I actually would like the camera that recorded exactly what I'm seeing in terms of light level, range and everything, which could then, if you wanted to, be adjusting later for higher contrast. I'd prefer to be able to record exactly what I'm seeing, and then perhaps, but this is where we are with the technology we have available to us now, and it just doesn't have the same dynamic range as the human eye does. And it's getting closer and closer all the time, but we're still a few stops away from sort of the same dynamic. Crows. That was nice. That was nice. I can't even see them with my unaided eye, but I sure saw them go through the frame there. That was a very nice. I'm glad we got that, because we're actually coming down to the end of the video clip. So that little clip alone could be interesting. So let's. I'm pretty sure they were crows. I hear seagulls, but I think what I saw there was crows. So yeah, we're just gonna let the video run down. Again, we're at 400 ISO f8, 40th of a second. The moon on the screen looks just a little on the washed out side, but I suspect it'll be fine in the video. And the sky, as I said, a nice deep blue, which I suspect might be quite dark. Assuming there's this screen confirmation will show. Low light situation seems to be okay in regular daylight. Again, in a low light situation, brightness of the screen is an issue. So I'm making definitely for regular daylight and low light situations. Anyway, got a nice image there. I'm just debating if I should take a still photo or two. I guess I can here. Yeah. It'll also be interesting to see how the still photo differs from what I'm seeing on the screen in terms of that actually would be interesting too. So I think I will do that. I think I will soon, not immediately, because we'll let this run through the full 20 minutes. But after this, I'm going to switch to still. Take some still photos. But for the last minute or so, we're just going to let the moon rise up through the middle of the frame here. And if we're lucky, we'll have some more birds going from the moon.